Today we're going to talk about what happens if you break the no contact rule and the chain of events that it sets off that basically ruins your chances of getting an ex back, if that's what you want. So let's define what the no contact rule is. I know I say this like every single no contact video, but bear with me here. The no contact rule refers to a period of time where you cut off all conceivable communication with an ex after a breakup. The intent of this tactic should not be used to make your ex miss you, but instead should be used to rebuild your own life so that you can outgrow your ex. Now by doing this, the no contact rule can have that added benefit of making an ex miss you. So in a nutshell, the no contact rule is basically this period of time where you are not going to be responding to your ex, and therein lies the problem. So what do we mean when we say breaking the no contact rule? Well, if you're familiar with our theory on the no contact rule, there's 3 distinct timeframes that we tend to recommend to people based on their specific situations. A 21-day rule, a 30-day rule, or a 45-day rule. Let's just go simple. Let's say you do a 30-day rule. And let's say around day 5, your ex texts you and you just cannot help yourself and respond to your ex. That is considered breaking the no contact rule. But what you may not realize at the time is how it really diminishes your chances when you do it. Now I want to put a quick disclaimer here and say that around 80% of our clients end up failing the no contact rule on their first attempt. Why? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. So imagine yourself using a no contact rule on your ex, and your ex begs you to respond to them, or they show up at your work, or they show up at your house very suddenly, or they call you excessively, or they send a mutual friend to break the silence, or they say mean things to you that make you think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose them forever if I don't respond. Then they guilt you. Why are you acting this way? Respond to me now. And then, of course, they'll sometimes send you gifts to try to get you to respond. Now, when you look at the no contact rule in that way, it's actually really easy to understand why 80% of the people who come through our program fail it on their very first attempt. But what are you supposed to do if you fail it? Well, we're kind of harsh about this. Let's say that you're in a 30-day rule and on day 28, you decide, I'm gonna break the no contact rule because my ex is making me feel like if I don't respond to them, I'm gonna lose them forever. You've technically failed the no contact rule, so what are you supposed to do? Well, you have to start over from day 1. And this is kind of a nightmare scenario for a lot of people because a lot of times it's based on self-discipline. A lot of times if you break the no contact rule at day 28 and you decide, you know what, screw Chris, I don't want to listen to him. I'm just going to go right into the value ladder and the value chain, all these other cool concepts that he came up with. I don't need those extra 2 days. Well, yeah, you do. In fact, some of more recent findings are finding that actually longer periods of no contact tend to work better. So I've even considered saying, you know what, 21-day rule, 30-day rule, they're gone. 45-day rule is the thing to do. I haven't gone to that point yet because I need more data to back up what I think is true, but my point is usually longer is better, and if you are not disciplined enough to wait 2 extra days, it tells me you're not doing what you should be doing during the no contact rule, and that's outgrowing your ex. But we're getting off topic here. So why is this such a big deal to fail the no contact rule? Well, here's the harsh truth that you may not really want to hear, but you probably need to hear. Every time you fail the no contact rule, it becomes less and less and less effective. It's okay to fail it once. 80% of people do, and it still is one of the most effective strategies. But it's not okay to fail it 10 times. Why? Well, the analogy I've always told to people is to kind of look at it like you're watching a movie for the first time. When you watch a movie for the first time, you are experiencing every emotional beat that the director and the writer want you to experience at the maximum level. And if the movie made a big enough impression on you, you come back and watch it a second time. And usually it's still really, really good, but it's not quite as good as that first time. So then you watch it again. And now you know everything that's going to happen. You know sometimes even word for word what they're going to say, or hey, this is what's going to happen next, and you're dissecting it, and it's no longer emotionally as resonant as it was that first experience that you had. The no contact rule works in much the same way. Each time that you fail it and have to restart it, it loses a little bit of effectiveness. So if you failed it 5 times, that means it's not going to be effective the 6th time as it was on the 2nd or 1st time. And unfortunately, we live in a society where we expect instant results, especially with the no contact rule. And the key to the no contact rule is that there's really kind of no instant results. It's all about self-discipline and outgrowing your ex and things of that nature. And so when you don't get those instant results, a lot of our clients are breaking it and having to start over, and then breaking it and having to start over. I think the record we found was 17 times for one of our clients. Obviously, that person did not get their ex back, if that's what they were attempting to do, and they were. But failing the no contact rule, also there's a few asterisks next to specific type of situations. For example, what if I were to tell you that there's actually one specific situation, but this situation is so rare it's highly unlikely that you have experienced it? So what is that situation? Well, let's say you're around day 21 of a 30 or 45 day no contact rule, and your ex sends you a text message that basically says, hey, I know I'm really sorry about everything that we did or I did to you and made you feel bad. I feel really regretful. Would you consider coming out on a date with me and patching things up? Essentially, if your ex sits there and says to you, I want to get back together, well, at that point, it's okay to break the no contact rule, because at its core, the no contact rule is meant to help you outgrow your ex, but a lot of the people who are using the no contact rule have that ultimate goal of getting their ex back. And if you've achieved that goal in 21 days without talking to your ex and kind of made them realize, hey, I made a mistake, you've achieved your goal. Now, I will say, here's the one issue I have with it. A lot of times, exes who have a knee-jerk reaction like this will break up with you again within the next 2 months. This is the harsh facts that we've kind of realized with regards to our process is half the people who get back end up breaking up again and having to go through the process one more time. Even more so in situations like this, because it's not like they truly regret everything just yet. They really regret the loss of their normal relationship pattern. You know, waking up expecting a text from you, or waking up and texting you immediately, and having someone to rely on throughout the day and things of that nature. When they go away, it's a little bit of a shell shock even for your ex, and they can realize they made a mistake. But sometimes that doesn't fix the reasons that the relationship ended in the first place, and that's the problem with it. But even having said that, I would still break the no contact rule in that one specific situation. Now, obviously, there are a few other situations where you have to alter a no contact rule, but we're not really talking so much about those. And by those extra situations, I mean a limited no contact rule. You know, where you're not doing a traditional no contact rule because you work with your ex, or you are living together with your ex, or you share a child with your ex, and you're forced to interact with them. We're not talking about breaking the no contact rule in that specific circumstance, because there are specific rules that we've set up for that specific circumstance. So to recap, every time you fail the no contact rule, meaning you break it when you're not supposed to, it becomes less and less effective. And if you unfortunately get into the pattern of breaking it consistently, guess what's going to happen? It's going to fail for you. Also, there is one specific situation where you are allowed to break it, but it's so rare it probably won't happen to 99.9% of the people watching this video. And that's where your ex basically begs for you back while you're in no contact, and they basically say, hey, let's get back together. In that case, you can break the no contact rule, but for the most part, that's not going to happen. Now, if you're sitting there and wondering what you should be doing next, my best piece of advice to you is to actually hop over to our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. It's a simple, free 2-minute quiz designed to basically tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back, and it's free to take. So all you have to do if you're interested in taking that quiz is simply look in the description below this YouTube video and click the link you see there. Also, if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to this YouTube channel, really help us out if you could do that. So I'll see you next time.